Imagine the Super Bowl spread over 4 nights. For the stars of sprint car racing, that is the Knoxville Nationals. It is the most pressure-packed, intense week of the sprint car season.
Nothing compares with the pressure that goes with the Knoxville Nationals.
You have worked all week to get in position for Saturday night's run for the big money and the most coveted trophy in sprint car racing. Tonight, you have no friends. You have no family. It's you against a sprint car world. Danny Lasowski in the 83, the white car on the bottom. That's his nephew upstairs, Brian Brown in the black 21. Oh, contact! And the nephew turns his uncle around. That's what the Nationals are all about and how intense this thing is. Even families will have huge battles over who deserves to go to the A-Main. Even father and son felt the pressures of the Nationals.
It doesn't matter if it was family or not, it would be the same thing. You know, maybe you wouldn't have the little altercation in the pit area afterwards, but it wouldn't matter who you're racing. That's what it's about. You're in the biggest race of the year, and you don't mean to touch anybody out here because you can wreck these things, and I could have taken myself out just as easily.
Tomorrow is for mending fences. Tonight, the most famous title in sprint car racing, and over $150,000 are on the line. Who will thrive? And who will crack under the pressure? That is the 2007 Super Clean Knoxville Nationals. They're like a four-wheeled Woodstock to watch their helmeted heroes and their mud-slinging monsters battle for a big pile of cash and the treasure trove and trophy that comes with winning the most prestigious sprint car race on the planet, the 47th annual Super Clean Knoxville Nationals. Hi everybody, I'm Ralph Shaheen, alongside a former Rookie of the Year here at the Knoxville Nationals, a member of the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame, Brad Doty. And boy, it is great to be back here on Saturday night at the Nationals. Now, this race, Brad, the one thing about it is you don't have to be great all year. You just have to be good over 4 days to win the Nationals. It's a perfect setup for an underdog.
Well, an underdog, Terry McCarl was a 6-time track champion here. Call him an underdog a little bit. He does know this racetrack. He could be the first guy from Iowa to win the Nationals. He would give up all those championships, I guarantee it, to win one Knoxville Nationals championship.
It's incredible how to explain what this race means, especially to a driver from Iowa. So for Terry McCarl, it could be a huge night here winning at the Nationals. But if you don't want to cheer for an underdog, how about maybe going with the guy who's a pre-race favorite? And he will be every time he's here at the Nationals until the day he retires. Of course, we're talking about the man who's won this race 12 times, the King, Steve Kinser.
Well, back in the 90s, he won 5 straight here. He hasn't won since 2002. He'll admit he's been struggling a little bit this year, but he's starting third. It could be his best finish for a long time.
Steve Kinser, he is the living legend of the sport. Once again, ready to go racing at the Nationals, and every time he climbs behind the wheel of the race car, all eyes focus on him to see what the King is ready to do here on the famed half mile. And Dave Argerbright will be covering the action for us down in the center of the racetrack, and he's standing by with the living legend himself.
That's right, Ralph. He is a 12-time champion, but it's been 5 years since he's been interviewed on this victory podium in first place. Steve, 2 nights ago, you had a crash in your qualifying night. At what moment did you fear that maybe your weekend was over?
Well, you know, it's so tough starting in the back of the heats, and anytime you get an accident, we were fortunate enough there was another car involved in it and got a chance to get some wings on the thing and get back out there and get in the top 4. If we wouldn't have got back out, even if we wouldn't have got in the top 4, it's pretty well any shot you got's out the window.
But you're okay now. You've got the car repaired. How about this crowd, huh? I mean, you've been here a lot of times. Can you feed off of this energy with a big, rowdy crowd like this?
Well, that's the reason it's the Knoxville Nationals. This is the biggest race of the year, and it's got probably the biggest crowd, the best crowd there is here every year.
You know, you've won it 12 times. You're a little bit of a superstitious guy. 13, your lucky number?
Oh, I'm not really too superstitious. You know, everything's went pretty smooth. We got a shot at it. Let's hoping the racetrack opens out a little bit, and Actually, if I was on the front, knew I was going to be leading the thing, I wouldn't care if it didn't open out. But I'm going to be chasing some probably some of the fastest cars in the country off the front. So we need to have a little room to operate.
Always you look for that green car here at the Knoxville Nationals. Back upstairs, Ralph.
Well, there'll be a lot of attention focused out of those grandstands on Steve Kinser, and just getting into the A main tonight is so difficult. 112 cars showed up to make the 24-car A main event here tonight. The field is split in half. Normally, half the field runs Wednesday, half the field runs on Thursday, then again, everybody runs on Friday, but we had rain early in the week, washed out Wednesday's sessions, so it really changed and made getting into the Nationals even more difficult.
Absolutely, back things up, a lot of racing today, but the thing about that, 80% of those 112 cars are going home. We'll not run the Knoxville Nationals. That's incredible.
Every time you're on the track, you're scoring points. How many points you score decides where in the alphabet you start your Saturday night program. And Brad, you've run through the alphabet before. You know how tough that is.
It's very tough, but it can be done. But this race and this format puts more pressure on a sprint car driver than any race in the country. You have to perform every time you go out on the racetrack. 24 cars again. We'll start tonight's A main for that $150,000 and that really big trophy. 20 cars are already locked in. These are the drivers that are already set, including the 2 stars in the front row. Dony Shatz, the man that won it last year, and Paul McMahon looking for his first. Paul McMahon, good start on the outside there. Can he hold off Dony Shatz and the rest of them? And again, 4 guys or cars trying to get into this A main. It's incredible.
One of the drivers that would love to be in this race is standing by with the 4th member of our broadcast crew, Tony Bachhoven, and of course, that's Kerry Madsen.
Guys, he'd love to be in the feature so much, he's come 20 hours from his home in Australia only to win the Knoxville Nationals. Today, he had to run the non-qualifiers. He won. Tonight, Kerry, you find yourself lined up 11th in the C main event. They'll take 2 cars out of it. Can you make the charge through the C, then to the B to make the A?
Honestly, Tony, I think the hardest part's going to be getting from the C to the B. The track's a bit narrow right now, but I think if we can get to the B, I think we've got a genuine shot. You know, we weren't as good as we were last year, and last year we made a good run at it, but so we've got a hell of a car. Just want to thank the Charlie Garrett Engines, Maxim Chassis, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to give it a hell of a shot in this B main. You know, I ran 4 wheels above the cushion, hot laps, and we could do it, but you know, hopefully getting it strung out. I'm going to give it a go. Put a show on for the fans.
Brad?
Well, the adrenaline is pumping inside of Kerry Madsen, and so it is in the grandstands here at the Marion County Fairgrounds. We are getting ready for the first racing action live from Knoxville. It's Saturday night at the Nationals, and you're seeing it all live right here on the home of the Knoxville Nationals, Speed.
Woohoo! Speed rules!
Welcome back to Knoxville. Some dedicated Dony Shatz fans sitting up in the grandstands tonight, all painted up and ready to go racing, hoping their driver can win the Nationals for the 2nd time in a row. Huge crowd on hand here tonight. And, you know, as you take a look at sprint cars on paper, Brad, with that huge wing, the big engine, and that massive right rear tire, it really doesn't look like it's going to make any sense.
850 horsepower, only 1,200-pound race car. They were lighter than that before they came out with a weight rule, but that's a lot of horsepower per weight as you look at the graphic there.
And now as you compare the sprint car, take a look at that power to weight ratio as you compare it to some other very well-known Indy cars and NASCAR Nextel Cup cars, machines that you see at the Indy 500 and the Daytona 500, and then your basic grocery getter like Brad drives, a Ford Taurus. You don't seem to have much power to weight going on there.
Wait till I'm done with that grocery getter. We'll get a little more horsepower in there.
I think you're going to need it. But the sprint car, you can see an amazing piece of racing machinery, and we're going to see the best in the business here tonight. Well, let's head downstairs now to Dave Argabright. And Dave, there's a huge announcement coming here tonight that we're happy to have the opportunity to break here live on Speed. Our friend Tony Stewart has some major news for us in the world of sprint car racing.
That's right, Ralph. The official news, speculation's all going to be gone now. Next year, 2008, Dony Shatz will move to Tony Stewart Racing, which will expand to a 2-car team with the World of Outlaws. Donnie, I know it's an exciting moment for you, an exciting announcement, but you've never had a teammate before in your career. Will it be different?
It will. It'll be a lot of fun. Tony Stewart has assembled a large group of people that are just by far the best in this sport with Jimmy Carr and the whole 20 team, and being a teammate to Paul McMahon is going to be pretty awesome. The knowledge that we're going to gain on a nightly basis having 2 cars is going to be just unbelievable.